Well, and really, when you get down to the basics of hitting, I've always been a firm believer that your best teacher is yourself, and that's what I think so many of these kids are struggling with today. I see it on their faces. I throw tons of batting practice to the youth here in South Florida. I see sometimes that puzzled look of what's going on, and I think that we've kind of our culture's fallen into our kids, our baseball players have fallen into this position where they're constantly looking for the answers, and they may not even be asking the same questions, but they go to YouTube, they go to all these hitting gurus and all these guys who are out there telling them this is the way to do it. I mean, the first thing that I would tell any young hitter is that's the answer is actually very vague. The question you have to ask yourself is, what kind of hitter do you want to be? What kind of player do you want to be? How tall are you? How big are you? How much bat speed do you generate? I mean, we can teach a lot of things that can improve these areas of your game. But the truth of this game, the truth of hitting, is who do you want to be? Who makes you happy on the inside? Who makes you, when you go to sleep at night, I love this game. I love to hit, and I love that swing I had in my third at bat, and I want to do that again. How do we replicate that? How do we work on that? How do we get better at that? Because let's be honest, when you're around the game of Major League Baseball, you understand that there are answers for everybody, and all the answers and a lot of the questions are the same, but the answers are different. And that's the problem that I think so many young kids are running into today, is that they're asking this question and they think the answer is Aaron Judge, or they ask the question and they think the answer might be Jose Altuve, or they ask the question, or it might be an Evan Carter, or it might, some of ththese younger players that are coming in. But the truth of the matter is, and one of the key ingredients that I learned about myself, and a hitting coach told me this once, and it has stayed. Reggie Smith told it to me when I was with the Los Angeles Dodgers. Holly, you got to put your head on your pillow at night. You got to be happy with who you are, regardless of what the rest of us tell you, regardless of what we think your swing's doing. Yeah, we may be able to help a little bit here, a little bit there, but you have to be happy with who you are and who you want to be in this game and what drives you to be better at it. So that's number one, the key ingredient. So some of these basics, which we're going to get into talking about balance in our swing, keeping the bat level through the strike zone, looking for line drives. I've always been a firm believer. I kind of say it this way. I'll throw it out. You're probably going to hear me say it a bunch more this summer, is that you kind of earn the right to tinker with your swing. So, you watch these kids today, they kind of like gravitate to some of these instructors and say, we're dropping our back shoulder. We're trying to lift. We're trying to get more elevation on the ball. We're trying to do all of these things. But let's figure out how to square up the baseball first. Let's figure out how to be the best line drive hitter on your team, your 12U team, your 15U team, all the way up. I mean, that's the reality. We were always taught that hitting was something that you worked at. Line drives, gap to gap, on base all the time, getting hits, playing the game, loving the game. And as you started to do that more consistently, then you kind of earned the right to start tinkering a little bit. And you say, oh, you know what? I feel like I have a little bit more power in me. I'm driving the ball into the gaps. The ball's really coming off. Great exit velocity, lots of line drives. Things are working in my favor. Now I can start to maybe develop some of these advanced techniques that might help me a little bit as far as maybe my launch angle or applying that to what I've already got as a firm foundation. But the truth of the matter is, I think so many kids today, Joe, are in a position where they're wanting step 10, but they're not willing to go through steps 1 through 9 to get to step 10. And understanding that process is time consuming. It's effort, it's practice, it's a lot of things. But once you kind of earn the right to get there, you'll realize how good you can ultimately be. Baseball players come in all shapes and sizes and are defined in all different ways. And that's the glory of this game. That is the joy of this game. You don't have to be what you feel like, right? 6'6" and above to play in the NBA, right? Football players, you got to be big and strong, and you've got to have all of these predetermined things that make you who you are, that get you involved in that game. But the game of baseball, you got guys who are 5'5" and guys who are 6'6" who dominate the major league level. What does that tell you about our sport? There's different key ingredients to each of us.